Hey y'all, I wanted to share for my final message today an interesting thing that I thought about. So just hear me out. So obviously, when most people see like bums on the street, they're usually inclined to be like, oh yeah, that's probably just like a very unsuccessful person who probably has made a lot of mistakes in their life. And that's probably true. But I think it's also true that we see bad people in all areas of life, and sometimes the richest, most successful people end up doing some really terrible things. And so I want to just encourage people, and even myself, to not just immediately judge someone so negatively when you see them out on the streets, because the reality is like they probably made a few bad decisions that led them there, but some other people will make a few bad decisions and it actually makes their career better. So you can't necessarily judge someone just based off of like their financial status. You can understand certain things about them, but you can't figure out if they're really a good person or not. I thought about that because I was reading about King Herod, and I knew the story about how um, when he heard of the Son of God was born in Matthew 2, he sent out a genocide after the wise men didn't come back to him to kill everyone, every single male baby in his region that was 2 years old or younger. I heard about that story and how Jesus' parents escaped to Egypt, and I always just remembered that. And I was like, yeah, like King Herod's a pretty bad person, even though he was successful and he was the king. That doesn't mean that you're a good person. What I didn't know is in the Bible recap, they were sharing how he also killed his sons because he was so paranoid that they were gonna like dethrone him. Ironically, I believe one of his sons ended up taking the mantle after he eventually did die. But yeah, King Herod wasn't a good person. He also had killed, I think, his second wife and like mummified her in honey or something crazy like that. And so all of this to say, um, what truly defines someone on if they're a good person or not has nothing to do with how successful they are or what car they drive or what their status is. It has everything to do with how they treat other people. So just throw that out there. Um, don't immediately judge someone, by don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge someone just based off of their status because you really don't know how they got there. And especially in some countries, like some people are just born into positions of high power. They didn't actually do anything to get there, and so I don't want to like undermine them, but you can't give them too many flowers. Um, so yeah. Anyways, little distinction there. Just because you're successful doesn't mean you're a good person.